Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, tomorrow we've got a big fight, a biggish fight. No, I wouldn't call it a big fight, but it's a biggish fight. It's definitely not as big as the one we got next week, but it's a solid fight between two guys who are kind of, it's a must-win fight for both, and one for more than the other. It's a must-win fight for both. So we got Jacobs and Ryder, but for Jacobs, who's operated at a much higher level, who in my opinion was a world-class fighter. Without question, Jacobs was a top tier fighter. You know, Jacobs early on in his career had a tag of Chinny because he got beat by Dmitry Pirog, who was a really good fighter. Who I believe his career got cut short due to injury, if I'm not mistaken. Jacobs was, you know, I saw Jacobs against Jacobs early on, Peter Quillen, I believe, where he was not stopped in a round. That was supposed to be a 50-50, a very close fight, and he stopped him in a round. I think Jacobs' performances against Golovkin and Canelo were outstanding. What really surprised me about Jacobs is the versatility of the guy. He's not just got power, but he's a switch hitter as well. This is a very good fighter. And early on when he had, you know, the tag of Chinny, we also found out that he had an illness in cancer. And then he came back from that. So he really is the miracle man when you think about it. For someone to come back, you know, from cancer and then to compete in boxing where you're getting hit in the head. And then he didn't just fight your ordinary fighters. He fought Canelo and Golovkin. And in my opinion, I thought he might have edged it out against Golovkin. You know, it was a close fight. It was a very close fight. And the way he boxed beautifully against Golovkin. And even against Canelo, I thought he did brilliant. Like the way he was switching, you know, and that left hook. Whoa, that was a serious left hook that Canelo rolled with the punch. But that might have put some guys to sleep. That was a massive left hook. This was a very high quality fighter. This was a very high quality fighter in his prime. An exceptional talent was Jacobs. I think he's on the slide now. His last fight against his last fight against Rosado was poor, you know, and I don't even know if he won that fight, to be honest with you. And a guy that gave Golovkin and Canelo the fights that he gave, to then struggle against Gabe Rosado, and a lot of people actually thought he lost that, tells me that he's not the fighter he once was. Here we have John Ryder. John Ryder, on the other hand, is a guy who is he's had to come up the hard way. It's been difficult for him to get the recognition, get the credit. He isn't a big name. You know, he's fought Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought Callum Smith. Gave good account of himself. I thought he beat Callum Smith. And I feel for him because that was a world title fight. And personally, I thought he won that fight. And I actually think if he did get that decision, I actually think, and people may think I'm crazy for saying this, I actually think he would have given Canelo a better fight than Callum Smith. Because a lot of people said Callum Smith was dead at the weight. But Ryder was bullying him at times in that fight against Smith. Smith was terrible in that fight against Canelo. And he was terrible against Ryder. So we probably expected it. If you're having a close fight with Ryder, then what's Canelo Alvarez going to do to you? And Canelo basically did the same thing as Ryder did. He pressured him and battered him. But Canelo's got more class than Ryder. So he just completely neutralized and smashed Callum. He basically beat Callum Smith up. Ryder doesn't have that same kind of class. But you could actually make an argument that maybe Ryder deserved that Canelo payday more than Callum Smith because he won that fight, in my opinion. So Ryder's not had everything go his way. I think he's been very unlucky. But he's a good fighter, and this is a big fight for him. And I'll say this, if Danny Jacobs isn't 100%, if Danny Jacobs isn't at his best, he won't win this fight. Because John Ryder is somebody that's very hungry, that wants it. That's very motivated, that's very dedicated. He wants this really bad. Danny Jacobs has been top of the mountain. Danny Jacobs has had his big fights with Golovkin and Canelo. If they don't come again, he's made a lot of money. We heard that he made, I heard he made $12 to $15 million to fight Canelo. I don't know how true, but that's what, you know, the rumors were at the time. Seems quite a lot with what normally Canelo opponents get paid, but if he did, good on him. But, you know, he's had some big paydays, Golovkin, Canelo. So you'd like to think that the man's very comfortable. Danny Jacobs at this point is a very, very comfortable man. Financially, he's in a great place. And has he really got the hunger like he once had? I'll say this, if the Danny Jacobs that fought Canelo and Golovkin turns up, he'll beat Ryder comfortably. Like, it won't be close, in my opinion. I think he'd even stop Ryder. But if the Danny Jacobs that fought Rosado turns up, then I think Ryder wins. I do. I think Ryder's a very good fighter. So, for me, Jacobs has to be better than what he was against Rosado. But I also think that if he turns up like he did against Canelo and Golovkin, then I think he'll totally outclass and stop John Ryder. But it just depends on what Jacobs has got left. I think if Jacobs is below par, it's a good chance that Jacobs may end up getting beat as well. Because like I said, Ryder can really fight. He's no slouch. Ryder's a very good fighter. Probably a bit of an underrated fighter. I rate Ryder, I do. Especially after that performance against Smith. I thought he was brilliant. He's tough, he's got a good chin. I like that fight. I do. I really like this fight. I think it's a fight where I think the winner gets another big shot. The loser has nowhere to go. I think Ryder will continue. I think if Jacob loses, I think he'll retire. I think he's been at the top. Like a loss against Ryder, where does Jacobs go? You know, I think Jacobs retires. If I'm brutally honest, I don't think Jacobs will continue because he made a lot of money. There'll be no need for him to continue. If Ryder loses, he'll probably continue. You know, who knows, might even become kind of like, I think Ryder's a good fighter, so I don't want to say gatekeeper, but yeah, kind of like a gatekeeper to like some of the top guys, because I don't think Ryder's had the opportunities that Jacobs has had. You know, Jacobs made a lot of money, so if Ryder wins, he'll probably get a big shot and a big opportunity. I hope Ryder's getting paid well for this one. Because if he is to lose, which I believe he's obviously the underdog in the fight, then we don't know if he's going to get any other opportunities after this. Because, you know, at one point he was linked with a Canelo fight. If Saunders was going to pull out, Ryder was being touted as the next guy. But I do think that if the real world-class fighters turn up, I'm not sure Ryder's world. I don't think Ryder's world-class. I think he's a level below that. I think he's fringe world level. But if you're off your game, he's more than capable of beating you, which he showed against Callum Smith. I think Danny Jacobs is better than Callum Smith. I do. In terms of, I think his versatility. I don't think we saw what Callum Smith did against Canelo, and we saw what Jacobs did against Canelo. Jacobs is a much more all-rounded, better fighter than Smith. Jacobs has class and he has power. He's versatile as well, which Callum Smith's not. So I personally think Jacobs in his prime would have beaten Smith, even though it was at 160. I think the best Jacobs would beat the best Callum Smith. I think Jacobs is a phenomenal fighter. I do. Like I said, I don't think Callum Smith could give Canelo... Well, he didn't give Canelo a fight. And I think Golovkin would beat Callum Smith. I think Golovkin probably stops him. Because Golovkin's a lot more ruthless than Canelo in terms of the way he walks you down and pressures you. So, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. My prediction is that I'm going to Danny Jacobs to roll back the years and to stop John Ryder late on in the fight. But if Danny Jacobs isn't on point, he's not on his game, then I won't be surprised if you know, Danny Jacobs gets beat here. But I'm going for Danny Jacobs to roll back the years and beat John Ryder by late stoppage. late on in the fight. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. But again, he only stops John Ryder if the Danny Jacobs that step came, or the Danny Jacobs that fought Canelo and Golovkin. But if he doesn't, and the Rosado Danny Jacobs turns up, then I think I'm going for a John Ryder win. But yeah, I'm picking Jacobs to pull it off. I think he knows that this is a must-win fight for him, and I think he'll turn up. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.